So you need to have the conversation among your group. What do we want to be known for? So let me share an experience with you that in 1996, I went to a medical conference, and the medical conference was being held at the Philadelphia Ritz-Carlton. And I was so astounded by the service at this institute, at this hotel, that I walked up to one of the people and I said, "Tell me how you do what you do, because this is hands down different from anything else I've ever experienced." I mean, it was that dramatic. So much so that when they recommended that we buy a book, I went about 2 blocks down the street to a bookstore. And the service, by contrast, was so different and so non-caring, I couldn't buy the book. So they pulled this little card out of their pocket, and they said, "We're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen." That was their credo. That was their slogan. And they had their 3 steps of service, which included a warm and sincere greeting, use the guest name if and when possible, anticipation and compliance with guest needs, a fond farewell, give them a warm goodbye, and use their names if and when possible. Okay? So I saw this. I brought this back to my team, to my ER, and I said, "You think we can do this?" What do you think they said? "That's a hotel. We're not a hotel." And I said, "I know, but when you go to a really fine hotel, when you go to a great restaurant and you get great service and you get great quality, does it make you want to come back?" And they said, "Of course." And I said, "Isn't that what we want for our patients?" And they said, "Some of them." I understood. So I challenged them. I said, "Make this your own." That's what they came up with. They came up with this card right here, of which you see one side, and on the other side were our basics, our standards. We had our 4 steps of service. Those of you that know AIDIT will see that this is very similar to AIDIT, even though this predated, this happened before AIDIT. A warm and sincere greeting, use a patient's name, introduce yourself and what your role is. Create a healing partnership by finding out what the patient's family needs and expectations are. Based upon that, tell them what you're going to do. Keep them updated as to where they are in the care process. End every patient encounter with, "Do you have any questions? Is there anything else I can do for you?" You can call it AIDIT, you can call it iCare, you can call it the 4 steps of service, call it whatever you want. But it's all about making sure that you touch all the bases with our patients. So we put that together, 90th percentile for 6 years in a row. We'd carry these little cards around in our pocket. No joke. I'd walk up to my team and I would say, "Are you living the credo?" We had a slogan contest, $100 American Express gift certificate for the person that suggested. And we decided we are people helping people. We had buttons, people helping people. We had pens where you clicked. There were 6 different sayings that would come up every time you clicked. People helping people. Greet with a smile. Pride. Have pride in what you do. Calm in a crisis. I mean, those were the kinds of things that we wanted to emphasize. Where I am now, here's what we have out in our reception area right now. We have this sign which says, "Exceptional care, extraordinary service, and a safe and efficient environment." That's what we're committed to. That's what we want to be known for. So I want people in here, I want you to go back. I want you to start thinking about what is it that you want to be known for and how can you get known for it. Because I think that's important. That's where we start. Now, once you have some sense for the direction for where you want your destination to be, the question is, how can you get there? And the way that you can get there is you got to focus both on systems and people. I'm the last person in the world to tell you all you have to do is be nice to patients. Because if it takes people 2 hours to get in to see you, they're not going to be happy. In fact, they might be angry, and it's awfully hard to be nice to angry people. You can try, but you're not necessarily going to turn them around. So on the systems side, if the systems aren't working, behavior is not going to help you that much. On the other side, let's say you have great systems, but you don't get people to buy into the systems. You don't have engagement of your staff. They won't do it. And or somebody comes straight through to the back and the nurse or the staff member says, "So what are you here for again?" Makes people feel like you don't respect them, et cetera, et cetera. Don't care how good the system is, without the behavior, people are not going to be happy. So when we talk about systems, we've got to look at how we do what we do, and we've got to measure it. When we talk about people, we got to focus on patient satisfaction, but the way to get there is to focus on staff and physician satisfaction. When we talk about systems, we got to talk about flow. How you get people in and through the department. When we talk about people, we got to talk about how engaged is your staff. Create the best systems in the world. If people don't buy in, systems aren't going to work. They'll fall into disarray. And one of the biggest problems that we make sometimes is we try to implement behaviors before we've engaged our staff, before we've answered the question, here's what's in it for you. So first comes staff engagement, and then comes alignment of behaviors, where we can ask everybody to sit down, or we can ask everybody to do AIDIT, or we can ask people to do follow-up phone calls. But until we engage our staff, they're likely to go right like this if we ask them to do something new. Now, with regard to systems, I want you to think bowling. Everybody